Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy hump day. Hello, Jules. Hello, Deborah. I said hi to JTV. I need to get my glasses. Gotta clean my glasses. Hello, Shannon, Georgia Peach. Abby Newman. True Crime Beat made it in. Indica said, I'm ready. Lisa Wilson's here. Steve Beasley, where you been, you old stranger? Hello, Nana Banana. Sailor 75, our friend Crime Story Diva's in the house. Jakey 5. Jakey Five's coming right out of the chute. I think she knew, and so did her mother. And look how slim she was for her prom. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. How did everybody enjoy the show yesterday? The show for Independence Day? I had a ton of fun with you guys. We have a big show next week for all the July birthdays. We're going to do Meet the Moderator again. This time it's going to be with Angel P. She was nominated by Shannon Georgia Peach. Hello, Connie. Hello, Brenda Jones. Angel P said it was great. Hello, Criminal Med. Where you been, my friend? I missed you. I hope I didn't miss you in chat. So we had a great 4th as usual. Went to bed early. The kids were going to go watch fireworks and stuff, but I was like, just send me some pictures and let me know how it goes, because it's hot as hell and the mosquitoes look like pterodactyls right now. Hello, my girl Tiff. What's up? What's up? We have some new names in here. Let's take a minute and tell everyone hello, because it is hump day. We're halfway through the week.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
It's hump day. And anytime there's a major holiday during the week, it's always a weird week. Indica said, I loved it, and my grandchildren watched it over and over. Well, the 3 oldest, they were in awe. Aw, thank you, Indica. Good morning, Fun Size. How's your grandbaby doing? Big T's in the house. Cherie's in the house. If you're new, stick around. You're going to like us. We're live every morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. Around here, we call it Tulsa time, but I am on time. Tulsa time is usually, if you tell someone 9 a.m., yeah, you might hear from them at noon. So, yeah, big holiday. We are halfway through the year, if you can believe it. Halfway through the year. Mermaid said to me yesterday, it's almost time to start putting up Christmas trees. Woo! Here's our girl Tiff. She said, I got a hold of the box wine. Woo! I got to have a video of that, Tiff. We have a lot going on today. Let me tell you. Some of Alexi's friends have spoken out to the Daily Fail and said it was well known that she was pregnant. The cheerleading coach talked to her about it. Her friends knew, but they said she's a master manipulator. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Jakey, for the super sticker. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Jules said, good for the friends. Thank you very much, Jakey. Let's get to the comments, and then we are going to get to the show. Breanders said, in my opinion, I believe the mother was part of the plan. The mom is off in her reactions and responses. No regard for the baby. Alexi and her mom thought they had a foolproof plan. I hope they throw the book at her. She is 19 and knows the difference between right and wrong. No excuses. She had options, and she could have just handed the baby over. Yes, she could have. She was in more than a safe haven. She was at the hospital. She could have grabbed the cord, banged on the door, and said, "Uh-oh, look what just happened. I had a baby and it's not crying." But instead, there was a ton of flushing going on, and she put the little baby boy, who was born full term, healthy, air in his lungs, air in his stomach. She put him face down in the trash can. One Coors fan said, "No tears, no true sadness, pathological liar, and a sociopath. Helicopter parent who could have even told her to hide it. Really shocked by this case. I'm infertile and couldn't adopt. And I want her to pay for this big time. She should have gone to jail, no prom, no graduating, and hope the mom's phone gets checked as well." You're not the only one that says that, Coors fan. Many people have said, check the mom's phone too. Check their Google searches. What have they been looking for? Thank you for the super sticker, my friend Tiff. She says, "Thanks for introducing me to the box wine, sis. I'll never be the same." We don't need you any spicier, do we, Tiff? Thank you very much for that. Extra AF said, "This girl, her mama, my goodness. A full-term baby was murdered, and these people were shown a shit ton of tolerance." You're right, Extra AF, a ton. A ton. Most of the time when people commit first-degree murder, they got a cool mill for a bond. She had 100,000. The way it looks right now, she is in Texas with her biological father because she can't stand the hate for her in Artesia. No ankle monitor, doesn't have to check in, no random drug testing, nothing like that. She's footloose and fancy free till trial, from what I understand. Extra AF goes on to say, "Too much in my opinion, but it's a small town. But here's another issue for me. Alexi doesn't know her own social security number. Helicopter mom said so at the time of her arrest. So how did she go to the doctor for the birth control that she told the ultrasound tech she was taking? Her mother was also holding her ID. So who took her for the birth control? The latest article that came out, she told the cheerleading coach that she was gaining weight because she was on contraceptives. She says, in my state, every doctor clinic I've ever gone to required my social for identifying purposes for medical records. And pharmacies too. Mom told the hospital she was a virgin, right? If mom went with her for birth control or knew she went to get it because she would have needed to give her the information required, did she not believe her own eyes and truly believe she wasn't pregnant? I think that's unlikely, she says. I really think this woman wanted her to get rid of that baby. And that influence, Alexi couldn't ignore. For that, Alexi deserves to go to prison. I can't imagine she'll get more than a few years, and it may be suspended because she's never been in trouble. I'm not very hopeful about this one unless they present a thorough case showing some degree of premeditation. It wouldn't shock me if she took a plea. I'm still convinced that the mom needs to be charged with something. I hope they do a thorough investigation. I hope they definitely go through the interaction between the mom and Alexi. Because if the cheerleading coach was asking her about it, if the friends are saying everyone knew about it, you can't tell me that the mom didn't know. Something very strange is going on here. Before I get to the friends, we're going to start from the beginning like we do. We have to look at what the housekeeper, the one that found the little baby boy, what she said to the Daily Mail. She said there was so much blood, I had to clean everything twice. Hospital housekeeper who discovered Alexi Trevisio's newborn in the bathroom trash can recalls walking into a bloody war zone and finding lifeless child face down in a bag. Lifeless child face down in a bag. Artesia Hospital housekeeper Lila Lewis recalled finding bloody footprints outside the bathroom after Alexi secretly gave birth on January 27th. Speaking to dailymail.com, she said, the bathroom looked like a war zone. Blood was everywhere. On the walls, back of the toilet, on the floors. She said it was when she was removing the trash that she found a lifeless child face down in the trash bag whose skin was pink purple color. Now that's very scary. Kalida Hope said this whole situation is sketchy as hell. Yes, it is. Nicey Marie said, I feel sorry for the housekeeper as well and the staff. Me too. And they're used to seeing scary stuff. They are. They're used to seeing scary stuff. But the housekeeper isn't used to seeing scary stuff. And to come across a beautiful baby boy face down in a trash can is not what she would be used to. Kenny said contractions. Yeah, I think she was having back labor. Some women have what's called back labor. So when she said she was having back pain and her mom took her to the hospital, that's exactly what was going on. And I think it had been going on since the day before because the boyfriend, Mr. Boyfriend, said she had been complaining about back pain the day before. Debbie said, this is sad. I believe everyone knew she was pregnant. Me too. Lana, my friend, said I had massive back labor. I did too. My first son, my back labor was horrible. I had to lay on my side and the nurses were just massaging my back because that's where my contractions were. And I think that's what she had going on. I don't know. I wasn't there, but if she's having that type of lower back pain, well, we know what's going on. We're going to get back to that in just a second. I put this up for the members the other day. This is the scene outside of the bathroom. There is no sound to this video. You just have to watch it. when I see them carry that trash can out, makes me sick. Angel P said, I'm afraid she cut it with her teeth. I'm going to put the link up, and if Angel P has time, I want her to come up and explain hospital protocol, because this attorney of Alexi's is saying major malpractice happened at that hospital. Well, I'm not seeing it. Reason being is they should have presented her to the hospital saying she's pregnant. Now, of course, they figured that out very fast, but he's saying morphine and everything they gave her. A lot of women get morphine when they're in labor. A lot of women. A lot of women. The housekeeper goes on to say, I started wiping down the walls, mopping the floor, and cleaning the back of the toilet. I've never seen so much blood in my life. There was so much blood, I had to clean everything twice. What happened next is what Lewis said is a memory she'll never forget. She said, I'm still traumatized by the situation. She was cleaning up and had to move a portable standard size beige plastic trash can that was in the bathroom. Lewis said the trash bin was a few feet tall. It was when she went to move the bin that she noticed it felt heavier than normal.
Join large-scale battles with military vehicles.
Okay, we already watched that. There's Alexi in the hospital. There they are. Shortly after Treviso exited the toilet, a cleaner made the shocking discovery of a dead baby in the trash can. Lewis said she began to rummage through the bin to see what was making it so hard to move. She said it's common for cleaning staff to store new garbage bags at the bottom of the bin, so the liners can be easily replaced when the trash is removed. She initially thought the extra weight was a result of someone storing too many empty liners at the bottom of the can. But when she reached the bottom, she found a baby wrapped in a clear plastic bag. She believes Alexi might have removed the existing trash bag that was in the bin and found a new liner at the bottom to dump the baby in before burying it and placing the first bag over it. She said, for a split second, I didn't realize what I saw. It was a lifeless child face down in a trash bag. I never saw the face of a baby, only the back of its head and brown hair. The baby was about 1.5 feet in length. There wasn't a lot of blood on the baby. The skin was pink/purple color. She said, I was sickened with what I saw. I was in shock. I could barely talk. I told a few nurses there was a baby in the trash. A nurse grabbed the trash bin with the child still in it and took it to the trauma center, where later the baby boy was pronounced dead. Still in shock from what she had just discovered, Lewis left the bathroom to compose herself. Horrible. 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 Thank you, Mama Bear. How was your 4th? How was your 4th of July? Thank you for the super sticker. This is just horrible. Just horrible. Let's go through, before I get to the friends, let's go through what the housekeeper told the detectives.
I'm just a mentor.
I'm Leah Lewis.
Nice to meet you.
Sanctions also met you the night of.
Yes.
Um,
Let me turn off my phone.
it's okay.
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
So, can you tell me everything that happened on January 27th?
Okay.
Like your involvement from
The time I was called.
to the end.
Okay, I was called and to go clean the patient's bathroom in ER around, maybe 2:00 or so. I think it was the time. I'm not too sure. So when I went in there, it was a bloody massacre mess.
Could you describe it if possible?
Yeah, there was blood everywhere. There was blood on the floor, on the wall.
Do you remember which wall?
The one behind the toilet, and then the one on the side right here. You know, there's the one where the toilet sits, the back of that,
Yeah.
and then on the side.
Where the call button is?
Yeah,
Okay.
and on the floor everywhere. I mean, it was.
Was it like this is the bathroom, here's the toilet and sink, then here's the door. So was it just like this, or
Actually, it was all over the place, all over the floor, because even when I was going into the bathroom, there was blood on the coming out of the bathroom on the floor.
okay,
So it was everywhere.
okay.
So there's blood coming out of the bathroom? Do you
Yeah,
know how far it went?
footsteps.
Okay.
I think they were the person that was in there, her footsteps. And she was coming out, so I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, it's even out here.
How far out did you have to clean to get it?
From the outside,
Yes.
right by like around the water fountain,
Where's the water fountain at?
right there.
Oh, right next to the restroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if it's on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it went out to the water fountain. Did you have to clean like the hall or anything at all?
I mopped up that area right there.
Okay.
And was it footprints?
Yeah, I was.
Was it footprints in the hall?
Yeah, when, I guess she stepped on it, and then walked out with it, and then their socks were wet.
Okay.
But it wasn't all the way to her room or nothing like that. It was just right by the water fountain.
So just footprints in the hall to water fountain?
Yeah.
Okay. And what else happened?
Okay, then I went in there, and then I started cleaning. I started. First thing I did was I started mopping, because we can't be walking around on that blood.
Okay.
So I started mopping, and then I started. After that, I started wiping everything down. That I went to the toilet, and I cleaned the toilet, and then I got everything. I had to do everything like twice because it was, bad. I wiped down the walls and everything. And after I did all that, I usually throw my trash first, but for some reason that night I had to clean the floor up and everything else. And when I went to go through the trash, I felt that when I picked up the trash and I looked in it, there was trash in it, but I knew that it felt like when I picked it up, it was some weight. So I thought it was the trash bags, because we put the trash bags on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started getting the trash out. And then when I did that, I seen that there was a baby in there. And that's when I freaked out, and I called Lori and HT, or the nurses up front. And because there was a baby in the trash. And the baby, when I looked at it, the baby was wrapped up like in a, like at the bottom of the trash can, and with trash on top of it, in a trash bag.
And so how did you see it like as soon as you picked it up?
No, after I picked up the trash bag that was on top,
Okay,
where
so
they were throwing the trash at, when I picked that up to change it, that's when I noticed that there was, when I seen the baby.
Okay, so you lifted the liner and then saw
Yeah.
the baby. Okay. And I know it bugs you, but can you like describe the baby?
Yeah, he was about that big. He had hair, and he was like purplish, but still not like pink. I don't know how to describe it. He was like, he wasn't bruised or nothing like that, and he was like purple, pink skin type color.
Okay.
How was the bag? How was the bag placed, or what?
It looks like she wrapped it around like that, and then wrapped it like under him.
This is very important, okay? And when the jury hears this, she wrapped it around and put it under him. Listen to this again, because she's the one that came across him.
He was like purplish, but still not like pink. I don't know how to describe it. He was like, he wasn't bruised or nothing like that, and he was like purple, pink skin type color.
Okay.
How was the bag? How was the bag placed, or what?
It looks like she wrapped it around like that, and then wrapped it like under him, and then put him on the bottom of it.
Okay. And was the baby moving at all?
No.
Okay. Did you touch him at all?
No.
Okay. And so you said you called HT and Lori?
Yes.
Okay. What happened? What did you see after that? What did you do?
Okay. When all that happened, moved the trash can. I told them that there was a baby in the trash. I could barely talk at that moment. And so then they took over, and I left. I mean, I went up to the nurse's station. And then they called the doctor and everything and all that stuff.
After that, did you have any contact with the baby?
No.
Okay. And then what happened after that? After you went to the nurse's station?
Oh, I went over there with the baby.
What did you do?
I just stood there and I was freaking out, and everybody was, asking me what's going on and whatever. And I stood. I didn't go back over there where they were at.
Okay. And then was that whenever I showed up, or?
Yeah, that was about the time you showed up.
So you were just at the nurse station until I showed up and talked to you?
Yeah. Well, after that, I went back to EVS, to the department I work at.
Okay.
I went over there and trying to get away from that for a moment. And I went there for a little while, and then they called me and told me that you were coming in, for me to go wait in the ER.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
Okay. And other than this, is there anything that I asked you that I haven't asked you that you think I should know?
No, I think it's all.
I think that's it? Okay.
Yeah, if I can remember of something, I'll write it down. That way I won't forget.
All right. And Great Chair, Cynthia has my contact information, so if you need to call me, and there's his card as well, you can let us know, okay?
Okay.
Are you doing anything to make sure you're okay?
No, I'm not doing anything right now. I thought maybe I could do it on my own, but there's some days that are harder than others. So when I feel that way, I feel, I just went through a trauma in 2018. My boyfriend in Carlsbad blew his brains out in front of me. So he committed suicide. So I was traumatized over that for a long time. And then now this, so it's kind of, sometimes I have a problem with it.
Nothing wrong with asking for help, okay?
And I don't know if you're a churchgoer or, I don't know what faith you are, but sometimes that helps as well.
Yeah, in fact, that's what helped me with my boyfriend, the churches.
Right.
That's what I turned to.
So you might.
Because I was looking for answers, and there's no way I could ever find out why he did it, because he's not here to tell me.
Right. Well, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I really am.
So,
but please try to get somebody to talk to, because it'll eat away at you. I promise you, and just get some sort of closure for it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, like talking to friends, family,
Mm-hmm.
like going to the church and just talk to them. Don't even talk to them about what happened. Just say like, hey, I have some stuff. Can I just talk to you about anything?
Right.
If you're Catholic, just go to the priest and say, I need to talk. I don't need you to help me. I just need you to listen and let me get it off my chest about what trauma I went through.
Okay.
Because, just getting it out in the open, because
Right.
I know you're mad. You're mad that your boyfriend did what he did. You're mad that he's gone. He's mad. You're mad.
Mm-hmm.
So getting that out, saying I'm mad, and talking to a priest or a pastor, whoever,
Right.
will help you. Trust me, because I've been through that. I lost my son in 20, and I've done lots of that.
Right. And and I was, because I didn't know why he did it. He didn't ever show any signs or anything like that. So I'll try to look for answers, and I'm never going to find them because he's not here to tell me. So that's what my main problem was. I needed to know, and that was making me go crazy.
Well, there are like survivor groups here in town and just around that you can talk to.
Yeah.
People like in your shoes that somebody's left them behind that they don't know.
Right.
But it's good to have people that you can relate to and talk to that won't judge you.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would like try and find them that you work at the hospital. Maybe they have stuff that they can help you with.
Yeah, they have behavioral health here.
Right.
Mhm.
And when all that happened, I had to see a psychiatrist and a therapy, and the therapist put me on all kinds of medication. I was like a walking zombie, you
Right.
know, and I didn't want to feel that way anymore.
Mhm.
And I needed to come out and do something for myself because he was the main provider. I had to come out and work because how was I going to survive?
Right.
So that's when I came here and I applied, and they gave me this job that I have now. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would be now. The hospital has really helped me out.
Good.
And so they offered me, when I applied, I told my situation, I'm like, My therapist didn't think it was a very good idea for me to work here, but I'm going to give it a chance because she said that I could probably have a relapse if I were to see like a lot of blood and a lot of, that I said, let me give me that chance and see if I can. So I've been here 4 years now.
Good.
So it helped me out a lot, but yeah, there's all, they have a lot of help here, like with behavioral health and everything. But I just wanted to get off of that medication, and I did it myself because I didn't want to feel that way no more.
Right.
God bless her. Nobody should go to work and come across a beautiful baby boy face down in a trash can, especially when everyone knew she was pregnant. This is not a case of her not knowing what was going on. It's really not. And we've talked about this on previous shows. So we come to this. Friends and classmates of the high school cheerleader have since come forward to claim that Alexi knew she was pregnant with her boyfriend, Devin. Devin had even picked out a name for their son.
Hey ladies, we are giving out free Dove samples. Just fill out our quick 2-minute survey and we'll ship it right to your door.
Where the circle is Lexi. She's pregnant. This is not photoshopped. She's pregnant. She's clearly pregnant in that video. Clearly pregnant. All right, there's Alexi and the boyfriend. Classmates described Alexi, a cheerleader dating fellow senior Devin Fierro, as a master manipulator to everyone who had several friends but very few close ones. She named the baby boy, the one she's accused of killing, Alex Fierro, said one former friend. Students who spoke to dailymail.com asked not to be identified because in Artesia, with its population of just 12,000, everyone knows everyone. They said Alexi claimed that she had put on weight, not because she was expecting, but because she had started taking the contraceptive pill. A friend added, she knew she was pregnant and hid it from almost everyone. She told me she had just gained weight because she was on the pill. Classmates said that rumors about her pregnancy started swirling in November, when she would have been around 7 months pregnant. Alexi had to have heard the rumors about her, Devin, and the baby, but by the way she acted, it's as if she didn't have a care in the world, said one school friend. Well, we've seen Alexi. She gave birth, put the baby in the trash, and jumped back in the bed as if nothing was going on. Another friend said Alexi would deny the rumors to anyone who would ask. A cheerleading coach even asked her if she was expecting, and Alexi again blamed her weight gain on taking birth control pills, the classmate said. But her and her boyfriend had a name picked out. Okay, so you see her at the beginning of the season and you see her later. This is not birth control weight. Then, as we know, they went to the prom together. She dropped the weight really fast. And yes, she's out on bail. I know a lot of people are saying, why did the school not do anything? I don't know the rules with that because she was an adult when she got pregnant. She was an adult when she delivered. It's not a crime to be pregnant, so I'm not really sure what a school can do. But I want to know how she got the birth control pills because doctors ask for ID. They want your social security number because she's an adult. They want to know where to send you to collections if you can't pay. We all know how that goes. They don't just say, oh, okay, I'll give you some birth control pills. I don't need to know who you are. That's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. Liplock said they went to the prom. Oh, yes, they did, Liplock. Yes, they did. You better believe it. There they are right there, my friend. They went to the prom. And you know what? People were attacking the photographer of the prom. She didn't know the story. And she had their photos on her, I think, her Facebook for her photography business. And, well, she took them down. There's Alexi, clearly pregnant. There's Alexi, clearly pregnant. Clearly pregnant. Now, the boyfriend who knew she was pregnant, helped pick out the name, will not cooperate with the police. If you look at this on the screen, on approximately February 9th, 2023, Detective Gonzalez contacted Devin Fierro on his personal phone. I advised Devin I would like to interview him about the incident on January 27th, 2023. Devin said he would call me back as he was in school at the moment. I left him my phone number. On February 16th, the detective contacted Devin again because he hadn't heard from him. Devin advised he didn't want to speak with him. The detective said, keep my number and talk to me at a later date. Well, you know what they want to talk about? The murder of his son. Now it gets more heated because Artesia Police Department is requesting the assistance of the FBI in Roswell for the processing of DNA evidence from a homicide case to assist in the furtherance of the investigation. The case arose from an incident on January 27th, 2023 within the city limits of Artesia, in which is being investigated by the Artesia Police Department. The DNA samples were obtained from the service of a search warrant on the suspect's person for DNA and from a blood card of the victims, which would be the baby boy, the victim's blood obtained during the autopsy and turned over as evidence to the Artesia Police Department. This case involves the alleged homicide of a newborn child, resulting in significant impacts on the community. The expected social and personal implications of the case throughout not only Artesia but the entire surrounding area make it vital that the highest quality of evidence processing is conducted ASAP. They want to know who the daddy is. They want to know who the daddy is. Now, I can't see the results of the poll. Do you think Alexi was coached? And if so, by who? Or do you think she just did this on her own? Let's look at what happened when they spoke to her mom and the whole fam in the waiting room.
Hi, Rosa?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Is this your family?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Detective Gonzalez, Chief Police Department. What questions do you have for me right now?
What's gonna go on? Like, what can I be with her?
She's getting life flighted out right now.
Okay,
So they're taking her right now.
okay,
I haven't spoke to her at all.
okay. So like, what's gonna go on? Like, what's gonna happen with her? Like,
So she's gonna get treatment before we even talk to her because she needs to be stabilized. So
Mhm.
that's why she's getting life flighted out.
okay,
Once she gets stabilized, we'll try and talk to her. The baby's gonna go up north for autopsy.
Mhm.
More likely, it'll be done within the next day.
is she gonna get taken after like she's released? How?
Get what?
Like, are y'all gonna take her into custody or anything like that? Like,
That depends
what?
on what the DA finds. We have to wait for the autopsy to come back to see what happened. Because right now, with how everything happened, we're going to do an investigation, get more information from the OMI, Office of Medical Investigator up north.
Mhm.
And with that, we present that to the DA, see what the DA wants to do with charges, if any at all.
Okay. Okay. So they already took her out.
No, she's getting life flighted. She's right now being set up to go to the.
What happens
What do you mean?
when the DA makes a decision or that?
It should be pretty soon they make a decision. Because with the age of the decedent, they usually expedite autopsy reports and such. With normal people that pass naturally at home, it takes a couple months for us to get reports back. Stuff like this, we'll get it back pretty soon.
Okay.
So
Still moving, they don't know.
They
we
don't know yet.
we don't know. That's why
That's why
he'll
we
be going
did
up north.
autopsy.
Has y'all's information been taken yet?
He took my driver's license. He took her driver's license.
Okay.
My phone number. My phone number. Yeah.
So, even though she's of age, if she's not available to be contacted, can we put you down as next of kin for all mine? Okay. And you'd be grandmother?
I'm mom.
So you'd be
I'm
the
her mom.
You'd be the decedent's grandmother.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So
Okay, now she gets to explain the family dynamics. I have Angel P on the screen, Extra AF in the background. You don't have to have your camera on Extra AF. Angel, what do you make of all this?
Oh my goodness. I don't know where you want to start. And I'm sorry, I've got really bad sinus problems right now. So I probably sound like a bullfrog. Okay, let me go back to when my daughter was about that age or younger. Is the first thing I was thinking yesterday. You know, my daughter was a cheerleader until she was a senior from the 6th grade. They had to have a physical to make sure that they were okay to cheer. And there's no way that where I live, the cheer coaches would have let someone cheer looking as pregnant as she looks. I was also thinking about my daughter was involved in a lot of extracurricular classes as she got older. And, you know, I did her laundry. You're telling me that this mom, who seems to be overly enmeshed with her daughter, did not do her laundry, did not notice that she didn't have a period? I mean, come on. I really think the mom was fully aware of this. And I hate to say it, I've even thought, wonder if they plan to do this. Because, you know, when
So many people are saying, they're like, somebody coached her to do this. Like, they would rather her spend 10, 15, 20 years in jail than have a grandson.
Yeah, and you know when I believe it was the nurse that, or it might have been the doctor that came in and said your serum blood test was positive for pregnancy, and then, well, no, not that. When they came in and said we found the baby, or at some point the mom goes, Alexi, I told you about what happens to girls that do that. Now, why would you say that unless you've already been talking to her about being pregnant?
I want to know their Google searches. Are they looking at cases of girls that have done this?
Right. I mean, that was a very bizarre thing to say, in my opinion.
Very bizarre. Very
And
bizarre.
yes, and them trying to blame the hospital now makes me really pissed off.
Let's bring up our friend Extra AF. She's been heavily delving into this case. Hello, Extra AF. Let's bring up our friend Extra AF. Oh, you have your YouTube app on. Hello, Extra AF.
Hi.
Hi. If you have your YouTube app on, there's an
Do I have an echo?
Hi. You have to get out of YouTube, hon.
Oh, okay.
Did you get it, my friend? Uh-oh, we lost her. Well, crud. But I do wonder if she's coached. I want to know how she got birth control without an ID and Social Security when her mom takes care of everything. I mean, they're at the hospital and she's got everything in her purse. I mean, Alexi didn't have a backpack with her or a purse or anything.
Right. And why would she not know her Social Security number? And why is she still in high school at 19? I mean, has the mother been so enmeshed that the girl's just like paralyzed with her growth because her mother's, right there wanting her to be very dependent on her? I don't know. I just wonder why she's still 19 and still in high school.
Well, I mean, I know some kids get held back or they go to transitional first, or their birthdays hit at a different time in the year. I held my son back in, I think it was, I don't remember what grade it was, first or second grade. I should remember. Good Lord, I'm his mother. And his birthday's in January, so he turned 19 and he graduated in May.
Okay, yeah. I've just always thought, like, I was 17 when I graduated high school, and so was my daughter. And I thought, that seems a little old for high school. And people have to remember that, if they had all this planned out, they went to the emergency room. And as well as I do, when you go into the emergency room, that you're triaged. And the focus of the emergency room is airway, breathing, and circulation. So if you've got people in chest pain or having trouble breathing or whatever major thing is going on, that's going to be the focus. Then you've got this gal coming in back pain, and neither her nor her mother apparently was honest and upfront with the staff saying, I think I might be pregnant. They hid that, and she didn't even change clothes and put a gown on, probably because she didn't want to, because it would have showed her stomach. And she kept her hands, folded real close to her body. So I want everybody to remember that she wasn't honest until they suspected it, I'm sure, and then they got the serum pregnancy test, and they knew. Now, as far as her going to the bathroom and getting morphine's very common in labor, especially if you don't have an epidural. That's very common. And they're going to have, in my opinion, a hard time proving that had anything to do with what happened, because the morphine didn't make her put the baby in the garbage can. Okay. The other thing is when you give a patient medication like that, you make sure their bed is very close to the floor. You make sure their side rails are up. You make sure they have the collar in position. And she had a family member in the room with her. Nobody in their right mind is going to think that gal, I mean, think about it, is going to get up out of bed without help and run down to the hallway. That could have happened in a 5-minute span. And who would have thought she was going to do that? Is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I want to give people a break because I'm trying to think of how I would be if I was a nurse. I know that the male nurse was standing outside the bathroom door at one point. You know, patients have rights. They have a right to refuse stuff. They have a right to not take treatments. They have a right to not want certain types of care. So I don't think it's really fair, in my opinion, to blame the hospital because I figure that they had done everything they could do. And when they saw the serum pregnancy test, they did confront her about it, correct?
I don't know at what time during the visit they did, but I tell you what, if I was in the bathroom and hospital staff busted in on me, I'd be pissed because, like you said, patients have rights. But after she'd been in there for so long, they said, if you don't open this door, we're going to come in. We have the key and we're going to come in.
Yes.
And next thing you know, she comes out, hops in the bed like nothing happened, and then they life flight her.
Yeah. I would say she still had parts of the placenta up in her. I don't know. But, you know, a patient does have the right to go to the bathroom. You can document patient up and about despite being instructed, because in healthcare, if you don't write it down, it's not done. Okay? If you don't put somebody's side rails up and chart side rails are up, then in a court of law, you have no proof the side rails were up. You have no proof the patient had a family member in the room with them. It's just non-existent. Even if you really did do it, you have to write it down. So I think it's going to be real interesting. It would be real interesting to see what the nurses were charting about her.
And that's going to all be part of the trial, don't you think?
Oh yeah, because on a normal floor, on a regular floor, you know, nurses are required, nursing standards, you have to round on your patient at least every 2 hours. Unless you're in an acute ICU or CCU, then that's totally different because you're constantly being observed. And I would anticipate that, I mean, I'm just assuming, I mean, in my wildest dreams, I would never think that little girl, even if she was non-compliant, well, she's not a little girl, even if she was non-compliant, I would have charted that she's guarded, that patient did not disclose that she was pregnant. Maybe she refused a physical exam. You never know. Maybe the doctors never saw that abdomen other than through all the sheets and the clothes she had on. I don't know. But if people aren't...
I mean, they were getting the tests back, from my understanding, while she was in the bathroom. And like you said, they can suspect it. They can't accuse.
That's right.
And so she gets back in the bed. Then they do the pelvic exam, and they're like, you're pregnant, or you were. And they knew something. They had to life flight her out of there. She could have died.
Oh, yeah. And I just think that's completely odd and bizarre to go, Lexi, I've told you about what happens to those girls that do this. I mean, that right there told me that her mom knew she was pregnant the whole time. If nothing, plus all the other things.
And what is the protocol for giving someone morphine? Because when I had to have surgery in 2014. I had not had a CAT scan, but they could tell from my pulse and my heart rate I was in serious pain. I had a huge cyst on my ovary, which took hours to find out because there was so much going on at the hospital that day. And they were giving me morphine without any physical examination. So this is possible. This happens.
Yes, it does. The protocol is that, you know, I don't know about explaining it in real fancy terms, but basically, if the patient's in severe pain, okay, just like somebody that comes in with chest pain, they might get a little morphine, okay, because morphine, if it gets to your IV, it's going to act quickly. It's also going to wear off faster than if you had a shot in the muscle, for example. Um, Basically, the doctor orders the morphine, and I'm sure he ordered a very small dosage because of her size and everything, and they give it. The morphine is, even though it does cross over the blood barrier there on the placenta, it is the least harmful to the baby during delivery. So that's why they give it. It has a rapid onset, and if it's just a one IV push, for example, it's not going to last as long as like a drip or a pain pump or something like that, where you're constantly getting the morphine in your blood system. And after you give medication like that, you do instruct the patient, do not get up out of bed without assistance. Okay. That is a very important thing to do. And what you do is you ask the patient on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain? That's what the nurses do. And so they give them the morphine. And then let's say 10 minutes later, 15 minutes max, they're going to come back and say, now tell me how your pain is. How are you doing? And a lot of people in the ER are hooked up, to like a machine that monitors your pulse and your blood pressure every so often. She didn't have that old one. So I just feel like maybe there was things there's Bruno. I just felt like there were things that possibly they wanted to do, that perhaps she did not allow them to do. That would not surprise me. If the patient says, no, you cannot do a physical exam on me, then we can't do it.
Cheyenne, too, said they gave me morphine when I was in labor, had my son about 8 hours later. Not everyone can take an epidural. And like I said on the last show, the drugs that got me through labor were better than the sex that got me pregnant.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's funny. I hope Greg didn't hear that. I'm just joking.
Woo!
That's hysterical.
And, and when I was in the hospital, I didn't ask for assistance. If I had to go to the bathroom or something, I just drug my IV pole into the bathroom. It's not a mental ward. It's a hospital.
Right. Now,
I don't know why people think that you're going to be watched 24/7.
No. I mean, that's an emergency room. They could have had people in there having broken bones, problems with their breathing, problems with their heart. You don't get that in the ER. You get frequent checks, which are closer together than every 2 hours, obviously. The ER nurses will check on them very frequently. But there's no set time for sure. Like if I was a nurse, I would be like, okay, I've got to go check on this girl and see if she's feeling better. I don't know. I just think the whole thing is trying to place responsibility for her actions on somebody else, the hospital, this person, that person. I have never, in 38 years of nursing, which I'm not nursing anymore. I'm semi-retired. I'm just going to say that. I've never experienced anything like this, and I've never seen anything like this happen. So I think that, generally speaking, most people would never think that somebody would go and do something like this. And I think that's nobody's fault but her own that she did do something like this.
Well, the charge nurse was concerned that she was in the bathroom. I put the link up, guys. The charge nurse said that he was afraid she was harming herself because she was in there for so long. They weren't even, it didn't even cross their mind that she was giving birth by herself and suffocating a newborn baby and putting it in the trash.
Right. I just can't imagine. And the housekeeper was talking about there was blood, all over the place. It's just really,
Oh, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Where did Extra AF go?
But I guarantee you that many of them suspected that she was very manipulative, and also being, I say non-compliant, but let's just say withholding information maybe is be a better way to put it.
Mm-hmm. And her mom is, her mom is used to no accountability. In the last show, we talked about the hit and run she had that she wouldn't take accountability for. She got a DUI in 2016, 2017. She had minors in the car. She's used to no accountability.
Mm-hmm. And we all saw the way that mom acted when they came to arrest her. You can't tell me that that woman didn't know all the business going on with her daughter. You cannot tell me that. She's very controlling. She's very enmeshed, overly enmeshed, in my opinion. And she's probably thinks of her daughter as her best friend. And I'm sorry, I don't mean that ugly, because a lot of people do. But when they're growing up younger, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you can't say you're my best. Well, you don't treat them like they're your best friend. You got to parent them. And I'm totally shocked that she was allowed, like I said before, to cheer like that. That's insane.
She was holding people up, but see, I don't know the rules of the schools, if you know what I mean, because it's not. When you get a sports exam, they're not going to do a pelvic exam. They're not going to do a pregnancy test. And when the cheerleading coach confronted her and said, are you expecting? She said, no, this is from contraceptives. I just started taking the pill and I'm gaining weight. Because they can't call, Department of Human Services or Child Protective Services, whatever you call it, New Mexico, because she's 19.
Exactly. Yeah, she's legally an adult, even though she doesn't. I have a suspicion that she emotionally is not as mature as other 19-year-olds. And I feel like her mom is partially responsible for that. The whole thing's just a mess. I mean, I feel bad for the nurses. I feel bad for the doctor. I feel really bad for the housekeeper. And if somebody is willing to lie to you and say, no, I'm just gaining weight from taking birth control, I mean, that's a lot of weight. People can't make people do things. Even in the hospital, you have a right to refuse treatment. You have a right to refuse part of your treatment. You can refuse the medication. You can refuse this. And it makes you wonder, if she didn't want to be forthright with the hospital, then why did she go there in the first place?
That's what I want to know. I mean, why on earth did they even take her to the hospital? And if she already knew she was pregnant and she knew she was going into labor, because she knew a baby was coming out of her. She saw it. She saw the whole thing. I want to know how she didn't make a noise. I bet there was bite marks all over her damn arm.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
Yolanda wants to tell us hi. Yolanda, nice to meet you. You've never been up here before. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine. This is my first time.
Hey, Yolanda.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, girl. How are you?
All right.
What do you make of all this? It's so crazy, convoluted, so many lies, so much manipulation.
Yes, I'm glad you bringing this story out, but I kind of see it a different way, which we all have, see it different way. But I'm looking at her like it's like they trying to cover for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like her mom is really nervous. Like it ain't teenage pregnancy like it used to be. It's like so I'm allegedly, I'm not gonna accuse anybody, but I don't. It's like I don't think she meant to hurt the baby. I mean, maybe she meant for somebody to just find it, because maybe, who knows, did they make her have an abortion before? Did she lose another one before? Like, if say it's somebody messing with her uncle, stepfather, dad, and she didn't want to have an abortion this time, and maybe she just wanted somebody to find the baby. But
I just wonder why she didn't pull the cord, knock on the door, and say, I had a baby, the baby's not breathing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then whatever was going on at home, whoever the daddy is, then say, we don't plan to keep this baby. We're ill-equipped. We don't have an extra room. We don't have extra money. There's safe haven laws.
But if it come back, say, somebody else other than the boyfriend, that's a whole nother legal issue. Why has this person been messing with this child? You know what I'm saying? Allegedly.
And that might be the reason that they are getting the FBI in Roswell. If you look at the screen, they're getting them to do the DNA testing. Why won't Devin, the boyfriend, cooperate?
Mm-hmm.
Why are these people being non-compliant?
I can see what she's saying for sure, because that thought has went through my head also. Now, in that picture on the screen, who's that dude in the orange shirt with the hat on?
That's her stepfather.
Stepdad. He's very nervous. He's
Yeah, he
very
is.
nervous.
Taking his hat off and rubbing his head like, oh boy, what have I gotten myself into or something? Yeah, they're all very nervous about it.
And a couple of people have great comments. They're like, what if this was some kind of scheme to sue the hospital?
Oh, yeah.
Fan said it. Liplock said it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think she cut the cord? I'll start with Yolanda.
Was everything still attached to everything? Like, see, that's the part where I'm like, did she read up on it? Did she, like, I'm trying to think like a teenager, but I'm like, that part is unexcusable right there, because like if they was gonna do something to the baby, why go to the hospital? Like, they could have did this at home and nobody would have probably known nothing. So I'm thinking, that's what I'm saying, she was covering somebody. It's like she was so stressed, like, I don't know, but the truth will come out.
Like in a panic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Criminal Med said it could be the cover of a pad holder. Someone said the toilet paper grate, her teeth, because I've seen 3 cords be cut, and you don't just use old rusty scissors to do it.
No.
They're very tough.
I think she did it with her teeth. I hate to say it, but I'm just thinking, in a bathroom, you're in a panic. I don't know if she would know. Let me find something sharp. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I don't know for sure that she did that, but she had to be life flighted out because she still had parts of the placenta inside of her.
She did. She had to be life. She could have died. She could have gotten septic.
Yeah.
Baby D
Oh,
said
yeah.
shoot it. It's hard as heck. Yeah, it is. But when you have that much adrenaline, for those of you that are in here who have had a baby, I mean, a woman in labor can lift a damn car over her head. We have so much going on. It really doesn't seem unfathomable to me, with all that pain and adrenaline, that she didn't just go.
But she was active, active, young, pop it out and go back to cheering the same day, so I just.
Yeah,
and look at that other video when they went to her house. The mom is still nervous. It's like it ain't no teenage pregnancy scare. It's something they covering. I don't know.
Something too strange is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And why did she call the boyfriend's mom when they were doing the arrest? Let's look at this and we will get to that. We've already gone through it before. Have you seen the other videos we've done, Yolanda?
Yes, ma'am. I follow your channel all the time. I just be in the background quiet. But I just wanted to say this, like, it's something like this picture when you show here. I was like, why is he nervous? Why he not mad at the guy? Why he not fussing at the at the guy, like, you did what you did to my daughter. Why you did this to my daughter? Why y'all didn't tell her? He ain't acting like that. So that's when I wanted to say something. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, you don't have to be quiet. Don't you be a stranger around here. We
And
don't mind.
Thank you, but yes, I was just like looking at his demeanor, like he not mad at the boy at all.
I'd be mad at him. I'd be mad at the mama. I would look at her and say, how did you not know this was going on? When I got pregnant in high school, my mom's the one that buys the sanitary napkins, the tampons. When she realized I wasn't going through very many, she said, "What's going on?"
Right.
So was she just throwing them away?
Yeah, they went to a lot of lengths to be very dishonest about what was going on. It makes you wonder why. And the other thing is, if she wanted that baby to be okay, she would not, in my opinion, have wrapped it up in a garbage bag.
No. No.
And is the address on you current on the driver's license? Because determining on what the OMI does, if she's still in medical, and they do release the infant back, it'll have to be released somebody. That'll be up to OMI who they determine next of kin is. Maybe the parents, but maybe you, okay? So that's why we're going to get everyone's information. I'm just going to run your name through the dispatch on radio, okay? So I'm just going to call them. Hey, Houston's off 715. Are you on APD? For the AGH call, can you run 1 OLN out of New Mexico? It's 517-158-500. Should be Devin Fierro. Yes. No, it's okay.
This is interesting from Sharon. She said, I think she suffocated it trying to keep it from crying. She didn't want anyone to hear the baby crying.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Woo! Great theory, Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
No, is it Rick? Okay, so coming out of Carlsbad, so like 45 minutes? All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You as well. Thank you.
As soon as they're done with her, like if everything's okay, will I be able to bring her home with me?
Yes.
I will?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know where she'll be going.
With me?
No.
To my house. I mean, like.
When she gets life-flighted.
Okay.
I don't know which one.
They told me Loveless Regional.
She goes with me. Is she coming home with me? Listen, your daughter is being life-flighted. Your grandson is dead. Let's not worry about who's sleeping in what bed tonight.
Yeah, what about that?
Heathen has a question. She says, don't they need to be suctioned to cry? Now, my children didn't. They came out screaming. Can you answer that, Angel? You're the professional.
No, they don't always have to. They'll cry, and when they get taken over to the little thing where the nursery nurses take them, they do use that little bulb thing and see if there's anything in the nose or anything, while they're working them up. But normally they will cry right at delivery, because they're going to put them on the mother's chest most of the time, unless the baby's in some kind of distress. But as far as actually suctioning to keep them up, every birth, no, that's not. They don't have to do that unless the baby's in distress.
No, and my youngest son didn't have to be suctioned at all, and he wouldn't stop crying. He was a fat thing. That's the reason I call him the love chunk. He was 10 pounds 2 ounces.
Oh
And I,
my!
why won't he stop crying? They go, I think he's hungry, so
Yeah.
he had to eat right away. He
Oh
stayed
yeah.
away.
Well, mine was
Hold it
8
for you,
pounds
Joe.
4.5.
That's my card. Get a hold, keep a hold of me.
Okay.
So if she stays at Loveless and then she gets released, she can go back to y'all.
Okay.
And I'll be in touch with you to try and set up an interview with her.
Okay.
Would y'all mind talking to me later when y'all are okay?
Yeah, I was with her. I know she talked to him for a while on the phone, and then she came to me, so I've been with her the rest of the time.
Today? Oh, so what did she come here for that she told you?
She told me she had back pain.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Has she been having back pain before?
Yeah, pain for her and her hips is no. I mean, she was born with like her.
Okay, so they have to look at her medical records because obviously we know she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
The officer is already detecting. Okay, he's already picking up on the conflicting statements. Has she had back pain before? Oh yeah, it's no big deal for her. Then why would you take her to the ER? How many times has she presented to the doctor? Don't tell me about the chiropractor for back pain.
Right. And I bet she didn't get any prenatal care either then if they were keeping this such a secret.
Great point.
I don't know. It's like crooked.
Her spine?
Okay, because my ex-husband, he hit me. He beat me whenever I was pregnant with her. So she was early.
Okay, but her ex-husband is who Alexi is with right now. So if he's such a bad hombre and he was beating her to the point where Alexi has scoliosis, then why would she allow her to go there?
Good question.
So she had some problems with her hips. Like I always had to take her to the chiropractor to get adjusted because she couldn't use she was always getting constipated. Like she had to get lined up, whatever. So I mean, I've been taking her to chiropractor because I always thought, well, this time, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know. I just thought, like she said, I had back pain more. My hips are hurting me. I think I need to go to the chiropractor. I said, okay, let's go tomorrow. But she was like in really a lot of pain, and
When did it start?
Like the pain?
Yes.
Yesterday she said it was really bad, that her hips were hurting and her back. And then last night we're on the phone together and she said her hips were hurting bad. I asked her if anything else was hurting, and she said just everything. And she went to sleep.
But she's a cheerleader too.
And then she went to sleep, which makes me think that she was staying over at the boyfriend's house. He knows about the back pain. Everything's hurting, and then she went to sleep. I'm going to guess that the water broke at the boyfriend's house.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
Because you're getting that type of back pain, like I had. You're also going to get diarrhea a lot of times because, your body is going to clean itself out.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went back to her mom's the next day, and it was go time.
Boy, she was watching everything that young man said.
Boy,
and then when he
was.
then when he finished his story, she had to add on to it to make sure it sounded right, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't trust the woman.
And I don't think there's any chiropractor. I think they're going to find out that this back pain that happened all the time, she never presented to any doctor for it. there's no scoliosis, and they're going to find out she wasn't going to see a chiropractor, because a chiropractor is good. You have to lay on your belly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to lay on your belly. That didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Mm-mm.
So she's big in cheers. They have cheer competition. She works out. I mean,
And she's been active this whole
yeah,
time?
she's been active this whole time.
And who does she live with?
With me.
So
Parents are with us.
Oh.
Yeah, 'cause she's in school. She's a senior.
And how long have you all been together?
Almost 2 years.
2 years? Okay. So not trying to be rude, but you are more than likely would be the father? Okay. It's,
No, we get it. We get
sometimes it happens. So with everything that comes with that, gets a little shaky when it's newborn, stuff like that. But with like death certificates, stuff like that, interpreting his sons, if you choose to use them, we'll be the ones to help you get those. Other than that, because that's all really you'd need, and they can help you with the afterlife care. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have any questions for me right now? Okay. You have my number. You can. That is my work phone. If you want to text me or call me, I have my email on there as well. Okay. Sergeant and I got your information right.
Yes.
Okay. Let me give you my card too, so you can give me a call. All right. Just because I want to make sure everyone stays updated. Okay. Like I said, I don't know. There will be charges that will be up to the district attorney's office, if any are even done. Okay.
Okay.
It's too early in the game to know right now.
Okay.
So we're just gonna do the initial investigation. I was on the phone with our dispatch, so all mine will be here in 45 minutes. It's one of their field agents,
Okay.
and they're the ones. So in the state of Mexico, we're not allowed to touch anybody that's passed.
Okay.
They're called a decedent. They're the only ones allowed to actually handle somebody. So we wait for them to even do anything. So hospitals allowed to do it because they do care, life-saving efforts. Whenever life-saving efforts cease, no one's allowed to touch them. So we have to wait for them to show up before we even start that side of stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So she's getting life flighted out. We'll talk to her later.
Okay.
That's if she even wants to talk to us, if she chooses to, because she still has her constitutional rights.
Should I get a lawyer for her? Should I?
You can. That's your choice. I can't tell you what to do. That's something.
Should I get a lawyer for her? He goes, I can't tell you what to do. Police, I mean, they're here to serve and protect the public. They're not your agent. They don't give you legal advice. I don't know why these people talk to the police like they're going to say, oh, it's going to be okay. I'll talk to the DA and she'll go home soon. Welcome, Chloe.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What do you make of this?
Okay, do I have feedback or any noises? Because I've never done this before.
No, you're good, girlfriend.
Okay, awesome. Well, I feed a lot into body language, and the body language of all of these people here is very strange. And if you notice, the boyfriend trying to hide his face, and he's pursing his lips like he's trying not to say anything. The stepdad's over there covering his face and acting very upset. And every time anyone tries to talk, the mom doesn't let it happen. She cuts them off or she finishes the sentences, and she is controlling the narrative, which makes me think that she knows everything and she's lying. And the stepdad's behavior is very strange to me.
Well, he's the only one to me that seems literally surprised and upset.
That's what I'm saying. But if he lived with them, how would he not know? Or how did he not notice? I don't know. It's very weird to me. And the way the mom said that in the hospital room, we talked about this, to her daughter. What mom talks to their daughter about what happens to girls that throw away their children? I have never spoken to my 18-year-old about that. If she was going through this, I would know. I know every month when she has her period. I know
Yeah.
I know what her body looks like. We go in dressing rooms together. You know what I mean? It just is not, it's not right. Everything about this is not right.
Lana has a good point because he's a man.
Well, I started to say that, but I didn't want to piss anybody off.
No, I mean honestly, I mean,
Yeah, okay,
my
you're right about that.
I mean,
I agree.
unless I was shaved bald, my husband's not going to notice anything different.
You're right.
I can totally rearrange the house, and he's just going to be like, "Where's my chair?" And
So
no,
maybe so maybe the stepfather's the only one with any feelings here. And why is the mother of the son covering her face and not saying a word? You know, like think about that. Wouldn't you say, "Oh my God, I have a grandchild. What happened to him? Where is he? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, is it a boy or a girl?" Like, why is she not upset?
because I think the mother knew. Devin knew because the kids at school said that they had a name picked out, Alex Fierro. His name is Devin Fierro.
Right.
You can't tell
Exactly.
me that his mother, because let me tell you what, if one of my boys, their girlfriend was over and had a protruding belly, I would be like, "Have you taken her to the doctor?"
Exactly.
My husband wouldn't notice. He wouldn't, because I mean, he doesn't look at young girls like that.
Well, I agree. I agree with you there. But yeah, I truly believe there's just no way the boyfriend didn't know, and the way that his mother is acting, yeah, I don't know. I just can't. I can't get over that part.
At their ages, they'd still been having sex. You can't
Right.
tell me that from when she started growing and showing, they
Yeah,
weren't still having sex. He knew. They
and
picked
they
out a name.
and they had been together for 3 years, so it's not like he didn't know her and know her body and know
Mm-hmm.
how she looked. And then the rumors with the cheerleaders, I'm sure, everyone was noticing it, and like, is she in denial, like, about thinking that about Alexi? But I believe she knew exactly what she was doing, and no chiropractor, you're going to walk in looking like that, is going to put you on your belly and adjust you
No,
without saying, are you pregnant, is there something going on?
no, I don't think there was a chiropractor.
I don't think there was either.
I don't think that it was a regular thing, her having lower back pain, because if it was, how many times did they take her to the ER before? But they
Mm-hmm.
did this day. And I think that
Right.
she was at the boyfriend's house. I think she frequently stayed overnight there. I truly do, because you can
Yes.
see his mother's not really taken aback by this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She seems very like her behavior is very odd, and they didn't take her. If it started happening the day before, they knew when they took her, in my opinion, that she was in labor, that's what was going on. And I don't know if I I don't know. I'm just not sure. It does not seem right. There's something about this that they know. And like you said, the mom's sketchy history, the way she acted when the police came to the house. Um she is hiding something.
Kenny has a really good point. He said everyone is scared to talk without Alexi's mom's permission.
I agree.
I think you're exactly right, Kenny.
Mm-hmm. Even the mom in the hospital didn't say anything to the staff like, she's pregnant or she might be pregnant. She didn't say anything. She's just denying all knowledge of it. So she's willing to put her daughter's life at risk to keep the secret.
The whole thing just blows my damn mind.
Something that y'all as a family have to talk about, okay?
Well, why don't we want to come to her over in Roswell?
Yes.
But that door right here, they won't let her.
Yeah, they
She's
wouldn't let us.
she should be gone by now.
Okay.
So that's with the helicopters coming in. They want nobody near it, so that way you can't mess with anything. Because if any of their vitals go off, they'll stop it,
Yeah.
which could be an issue for if they need care immediately. So that's why whenever someone gets life flighted, they cut off every contact with the family
Okay.
because they're making sure she's getting set up to get transported out.
Okay.
So that's why they tell you leave.
Yeah.
It seems very harsh, but it's because with the flight nurse, the flight doctor, they have to make sure everything stays constant.
Okay.
So she should be gone by now because she was already getting prepped whenever I came out to y'all.
Okay.
So with that, like I said, she'll be leaving. We'll stay here with Desina and go from there, okay?
Okay.
So once she gets to Loveless, it's up to Loveless if they'll let you back there.
Okay.
Because she is of age, so
Mm-hmm.
with COVID and how everything goes, it just depends, okay?
Okay.
So if before you make the drive out, call, see if that's available,
Okay.
and just let them know what's going on, and we'll just let your family and that it's possible.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
We'll be here if you need anything. Yeah, well, I'll be over there, and I'll
Okay.
just be waiting, all right?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, folks.
Absolutely crazy. Not one tear except for from the stepfather, who I think was blindsided by this. I really do. The boyfriend who picked out the name, which happens to be Alexi's name, and Alexi is the one that suffocated the baby in the bathroom. If I was the boyfriend and the mom, his mom, I would say, no, we're going to take possession of the baby. By the way, they had the baby cremated real fast. Didn't even give him a burial.
Yeah, yeah.
And that I don't get. I keep muting myself because I keep sneezing. My goodness. All right, so we get to more Defiance. This is when the detectives are trying. So she does get Alexi an attorney. Okay. So the detectives are calling the house, and for the millionth time, her mother is not understanding that Alexi is of age. She is an adult in the eyes of the law. She can't have her mom answering for her. Listen to this phone call. Pure defiance.
Hello?
Hi, Miss Rodriguez?
Yes, sir?
Hi, this is Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department.
Who is this?
Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department?
Yes, sir.
Hi. I'm calling you today because I tried to get a hold of Alexi at school.
Why would you go to school? Why wouldn't you come here to my house?
Well, because you told me that I need to speak with a lawyer before you talk to me. But I need to hear that from Alexi first. Would she be willing to just tell me that in person at your house?
Okay, why? What? Yeah, I'll have her tell you. Tell her you're only going to talk to him with the lawyer present. Hello?
I need to hear it I have to be in person, man, so I know it's her.
Hello?
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 Hi, this is Detective Gonzalez.
Okay.
Hi, is this Alexi?
Yeah.
Hi, ma'am. I just need to meet you in person. I know your mom told me for you that you'd only talk with a lawyer present. I just need to hear that in person, okay?
Well, I will only talk with the lawyer present.
I just have to hear that in person, okay? When would be a good time to meet you? To tell me that in person.
You can come to my house right now, Detective Gonzalez, if you want to. I'm here and she's here.
Okay.
So again, the captain of the Titanic takes the wheel and says, you can come right now. I'm here and she's here. She's an adult. She's an adult. She has been charged with murder. She has been charged with tampering with evidence. She's out on bail. But my God, what is going on here? Listen to this call again. Why is the mom so defiant in delaying the inevitable?
Hello?
Hi, Miss Rodriguez?
Yes, sir?
Hi, this is Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department.
Who is this?
Detective Gonzalez, Artesia Police Department.
Yes, sir.
Hi. I'm calling you today because I tried to get a hold of Alexi at school.
Why would you go to school? Why wouldn't you come here to my house?
Well, because you told me that I need to speak with a lawyer before you talk to me. But I need to hear that from Alexi first. Would she be willing to just tell me that in person at your house?
Okay, why? What? Yeah, I'll have her tell you. Tell her you're only going to talk to him with the lawyer present.
I need to hear it I have to be in person, man, so I know it's her. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, this is Detective Gonzalez.
Okay.
Hi, is this Alexi?
Yeah.
Hi, ma'am. I just need to meet you in person. I know your mom told me for you that you'd only talk with a lawyer present. I just need to hear that in person, okay?
Oh, I will only talk with the lawyer present.
I just have to hear that in person, okay? When would be a good time to meet you? To tell me that in person.
You can come to my house right now, Detective Gonzalez, if you want to. I'm here and she's here.
Okay, that'll work. I'll head that way then.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
My God.
You know, everybody's been so nice to them too. And the mom was just like acting like from the start, like, oh my God, why are you calling us? Why do you need to talk to us? What's going on? I mean, did she forget what happened?
Well, and like when they went to make the arrest and they said, and tampering with evidence, she goes, what? At the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay, what is going on? J. Lord said, I didn't start with either one of them. I have talked to Slim many times. Connie said 12-pound baby, and I responded. What is something going on in here? Let's just get back to the case. Christina said she has the same attitude as the mother. Exactly. Now we get to the goofy ass attorney, which, by the way, he's a defense attorney and he's doing what defense attorneys do, and that is defend their client. That is what they do. And they will do whatever they have to do to defend the client.
Legendary Trials. Go to courttv.com/legendary trials to find out how to watch.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we get all of it, she'll get a copy of it.
She gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there when you take her up there?
Yeah.
I'll call her lawyer, everything?
Follow me.
Okay, Alexi Treviso under arrest. So what's her story? What's her defense? Let's find out. Joining us from Ruidoso, New Mexico, Alexi Treviso's defense attorney, Gary Mitchell is with us. Gary, thanks so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. I want to start. The first question, is Alexi in custody? Is she out on bond? What's her status right now?
She's out of custody under certain restrictions of the court, and we're honoring those, of course, but she's out.
And how would you describe her state of mind these days?
About as horrific as you can get, meaning that the harassment never stops. The constant calls to her home, which we've had to change numbers to avoid. Obviously, there's no social media because that is vicious. And she lives a pretty Spartan life right now. She's trying to get ready for college, but on the other hand, she can have no contact with witnesses, can't talk about the case with anybody but with me, and of course my investigators. And so it's a bit difficult for somebody that just graduated from high school and is 19 years of age.
So let's start here. She goes to the hospital. My understanding and the reporting that I've heard is always that she was having back pain. At what point do the people at the hospital, the staff, whether it's a doctor, a nurse, or someone, when do they figure out that she's pregnant?
At 51 minutes after midnight, they know she's pregnant because they ran the blood test and they came back. Now, they didn't tell her that she was pregnant. They didn't tell her for another 48 minutes. Well, they never told her.
They didn't have to tell her. Let me tell you why. They didn't have to tell her. Sometimes it takes a long time for nurses and doctors to come to your room and give you results. This is the truth. It's happened to me. Sometimes it takes a long time for them to make their rounds and get to your room. Someone being pregnant is not the same as someone down the hall who's having a heart attack. You don't know what nurses and doctors have going on.
Right.
The medical field is not a microwave, it's a crock pot. You know, their attention needs to go to the most emergent situations.
Yes.
But they're going to make a big deal out of all this. Oh, so they waited all this time to tell her she was pregnant. She'd already named the baby. Her friends at school knew.
Right. And there should be documentation in the record of when the blood was drawn, when it went to the lab, and when it was resulted in the computer. So they'll have to look at all that. But I'm sure there was not, if there was a delay in telling her, it's probably because they were doing CPR next door. I mean, I don't mean to be snarky, but I mean, like you said, it is an emergency room.
Yeah. And even if you're on the third floor, it takes a while for them to get to you. I mean, when you want discharge papers to get out of the hospital, hell, it might take 4 hours.
Or longer, yes, because discharges are not a priority unless they need your bed. That's how they do that. And it does seem like it takes a half a day to get out.
Yeah, that's why I'm so glad you're here so you can explain this, because she is a nurse.
Well, the other thing that's sad that you got to put yourself in this position, you know, nurses may have a prostitute in one room and a preacher in the other, but we're going to treat them both the same, and we're going to uphold the nursing standards of practice, and we're going to be compassionate, and we're going to try to be empathetic. These people probably, I don't know for sure, but they went through all this trauma and all this stuff, and then they probably had all these other patients to attend to and probably had to keep working a long shift after this happened. And I think that's very sad because nurses have feelings too. They get upset. We get attached to our patients. And I feel bad for them having to go on and keep working after going through all this horrendous stuff with this lady and this daughter. And the mom's just trying to run the whole thing. She's trying to run the show, even in the hospital.
Now, when I had to have my surgery almost 10 years ago, I was in the ER for almost 7 hours until I had a CAT scan. And they kept saying, you're not responding to pain medicine. Then they gave me something that I was like, can I take this forever? And they were like, no. I got the CAT scan and they said, you have to have surgery. We're going to schedule you for 9:30 tonight. Well, they bumped me because something more, more dire came in. I don't blame them for that. So I don't know why this attorney thinks we're all going to buy this bullshit.
Right.
They're not pizza delivery. They're medical professionals.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
No jury's going to buy this.
No.
She learned that she was pregnant when she went to the bathroom. And by the way, a fact that's critical in this case is that they began administering morphine, a painkiller, and other painkillers to her for her low back pain and abdominal pain within 28 minutes after she was in the hospital. And then they didn't stop administering that, even though they knew that she was pregnant, and they were administering that through an IV. So this child was born having an extensive amount of morphine in his system.
Now, I don't think the attorney has the records of how much morphine was administered. Because let me tell you what, I had Demerol. I had morphine. I actually had a button I could push when I was in labor. He's
Yeah.
barking up the wrong tree.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is.
How do you, I don't know if you've worked in the emergency room before, how if someone says my pain's a 10, but they just want drugs, how do you know from someone's vitals if they're truly in pain or not?
Well, most people that are in pain will have an increased heart rate and an increased blood pressure. That's a great way to tell. You can also tell by nonverbal behavior, such as grimacing, restlessness, moaning, all those kinds of things. We take the objective and the subjective together. There are people that obviously that come in and say they're a 10 and perhaps get medication, but probably what the ER, most of the time there's a record. Physicians can pull up a record based upon someone's social for that state on any narcotics that you've had filled at any pharmacy. So, like when you go to a pharmacy or a doctor or anywhere at the ER, they can pull that information up. They can pull up, have they been here before? Are they a frequent flyer? Do they come to all these different ERs seeking pain medication? Most of those people have a record somewhere that they can review. And if they do suspect that it's just a pain seeking person, they might give them something such as tramadol, which also can be addictive, but not so much, or even a Toradol shot, which decreases inflammation and pain as well, but is not really a narcotic. So there's different things they can choose to do. They just don't automatically write out a prescription, as you know, for pain pills.
No, because at the doctor's office I worked at, if somebody was looking for pain pills, we sent them to pain management, and they
Right.
can assess it. If they're like, my legs always hurt, my hips hurt, now if they came in and they had an escalated pulse, blood pressure, then we're like, go to the ER. Like this one guy came in one time and he had kidney stones.
Oh, wow.
And this guy, he was a hurting unit. Let me tell you
Mhm.
what. His
Mhm.
whole body and his unit, if you know what I mean. He
Right.
was, and they said, we didn't want him to drive himself, so we got an ambulance to come get him.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. I just don't think that she had any prenatal care, probably. Or if I don't know, I'm just suspicious. I wonder if she had any prenatal care or even a primary care doctor that she saw during this entire time that she was pregnant.
That's what I wonder. Why did helicopter mom never take her to the doctor in that whole 9 months? The dentist, anything, not that a dentist is going to do a pregnancy test, but a
Right.
dentist would see a belly and say, well, we can't x-ray you until we know, because you're a young girl. Muscle said kidney stones, oh my gosh, worst pain ever. I never want one. God, no.
They really are. I've had those before. It's kind of like birthing pains, in my opinion. When that stone moves
The
around.
fetus was. So we know that from the toxicology reports and the autopsy.
So if 1251, they determine that she's pregnant. How about being in labor? Like, I know labor can be quick sometimes, but at what point is she in labor, and how on earth in such a short time from being in a hospital bed with staff and everything else is she delivering a child in the bathroom?
Well, 48 minutes after they knew that she was pregnant, she tells the nurse she has to go to the bathroom really bad. And so they go in and they take the IV out of her arm. Now, keep in mind, they didn't even have her dressed out. She wasn't in a hospital gown. She's still wearing the clothes she came in the hospital on, except her shoes are off. And so they unhook the IV from her, and she runs down the hall. You showed that to your viewers a few minutes ago. She runs down the hall to the bathroom where she has a baby. and delivers the baby into the commode, and along with the placenta and everything else that goes on. So she was totally unaware of it and she thought she had to go to the bathroom. There's no question about that.
So you're telling me that they did the test and have they conceded that they knew she was pregnant at that point, or are you going by the timeline of the records that you've gotten so far?
No, they conceded that at the hearing that we had, and they've conceded that they had their computers on their desktops. That lab report was made to them at 51 minutes after midnight. It flashed across the screens to the doctor, to the charge nurse, to the nurse that was taking care of her, and to the nurse's station. And they weren't busy that night. It's not like this was a emergency room in a major city with lots of people running in and out. They were just all sitting around the nurse's station, and they came across the computer. So they knew. They knew when they went in. They knew at the time that they were giving her the morphine that she was pregnant.
And at the time that they're unhooking her and allowing her to go to the bathroom by herself, like, wouldn't there be an indication that she would, or a test or something to figure out, is she in labor or not? And she's not told either. And the mother's not told, the grandmother of the baby, her mom?
No, they're not. None of them are told. And the fact of the matter is there are two cardinal rules in an emergency room whenever you have a woman of childbearing age come into your emergency room complaining of low back pain and abdominal pain. Number one, she's pregnant until proven otherwise, no matter what she may think, because 1 in 2,500 in what we call cryptic pregnancies, 1 in 2,500 women do not know they're pregnant till they deliver. It's an alarming statistic, but it's also a pretty factual statistic. 1 in 400 to 500 women do not know that they're 20 weeks pregnant until after 20 weeks have passed. So not unusual, especially for teenage girls. So we have that situation here. That's the number one cardinal rule. The second cardinal rule is a woman of childbearing age in a hospital.
Is there a cardinal rule for pregnancy?
Well, he is right in the fact that, you know how when you go in for an x-ray and they ask you if there's any chance you could be pregnant, and that's a typical admission question for any patient, including her. Do you think you could be pregnant? And she had to answer that, yes or no. But as far as cardinal rule, that's kind of like just basic patient care, no matter where you're at. You know, you always have to assume that until you know for a fact. Anytime, if anybody's ever been in the hospital or gone to a doctor and filled out your paperwork, it's always going to ask you, you know, how many babies have you had? Do you think you can be pregnant? Stuff like that. So I don't know how she answered those questions.
I think she said no.
Yeah.
But they did their own tests when she was there, and they were like, no, you are.
And when you were showing that previous video, that was the male nurse that was lurking around close to the bathroom trying to figure out what was going on. And wouldn't you like to know what her mama heard or said when she went running down there to the bathroom too and then came back?
That's what I want to know. When her mom went down to the bathroom, what was she saying through the door?
Yeah. It's pretty awful.
Horrible.
Hospital, and you know that she's pregnant. It says that she has to go to the bathroom because she feels like she has to defecate. You better take a good hard look and make sure she's not crowning and about to give birth, which was exactly what happened here.
Okay, there's the mom going down the hall. Now, like we've discussed, patients have rights. He said she could be crowning and giving birth. She said she had to defecate. Now, I'm sure Alexi didn't say, I have to defecate. Please let me in the bathroom. I don't think she was proper. I just think she said, I have to go to the bathroom. They unhooked her IV and she went to the bathroom. As we know, when you're going into labor, it does feel like you're going to have a big bowel movement. But they can't tell you you can't go to the bathroom.
That's right.
They can't tell you can't go.
And they never checked.
So, from your perspective, how and why did this baby die?
Well, we're still looking into that. Several experts are looking into that, including forensic pathologists, a number of doctors. More likely than not, the child may have taken a breath or two, according to the Office of the Medical Investigator. But the morphine was a critical problem for this child. And we're not even sure that the autopsy is correct. Other doctors disagree with that. And so we think the child was not born alive, certainly did not breathe properly. I mean, it had 14 milligrams of morphine per milliliter in its body. That's a horrible thing, and that's really causes major breathing problems, along with some of the other drugs that had been given to her because of her low back pain.
Her low back pain was from being in labor. And they give women morphine, Demerol, you name it, when they're in labor. Explain this, Angel, because you know I'm going to mess it up.
Well, as you know, a lot of people want to do a natural childbirth, or they could be in a position in labor to where it's too late to get an epidural. That's happened a lot. And people that want an epidural and they're getting ready to have to push, they will usually just, give you that medication, which is quick acting. But again, the effects of that can wear off very quickly, depending on the dosage. I just think everything he's saying is ridiculous. The baby couldn't breathe because she put it in a trash bag, and she wrapped the trash bag around it, put it down in the very bottom on top of the clean trash bags that we're going to go in next, and then put the garbage on top of the baby. That's why the baby didn't live.
Face down.
Correct. Probably had that position asphyxia. Mm-hmm.
Criminal Med said full term, air in lungs and belly.
Yeah, I thought I had heard that there was air in the lungs. The baby died because it suffocated in a plastic bag upside down. Just like with that little girl, Evelyn Boswell.
Yep, you're exactly right. Alexi Treviso baby autopsy report. The autopsy revealed that the newborn did not have any physical abnormalities or injuries at birth. It was observed that air was present in the lungs and stomach, suggesting that the baby was likely born alive after a full 38 weeks of pregnancy.
Yes.
Autopsy indicated that the baby might have suffocated. Well, a trash bag would do that.
Yeah. That's so disgusting.
It does. It just pisses me off to no end.
I can't believe it, because she's right there in the hospital. And there's a reason why. What's the reason that they didn't come clean, tell the truth? I don't know. What's the reason? What are they covering up? What is the problem?
Even though halfway through they knew she was pregnant, they continued to give it to her. So there's all sorts of issues in that regard. The bottom line is she, and the testimony is pretty clear. We know that the child was not alive, that she tried to help clean up after herself. She had never been in a hospital room before, and didn't know anything about pushing buzzers or cords. This was in a public bathroom in the ER. This wasn't a patient bathroom. This is a public bathroom in the ER. This is also a situation where she obviously had never had a baby before. She's the youngest in the family, so she hadn't been around when anybody else in the family had had a baby. And she had never had a vaginal examination ever in her life, and was totally unaware, and had been taking birth control, and she and her boyfriend had used birth control. And she had been working out 2 to 4 hours a night for 6 nights out of the week for months. So she never thought that she was pregnant. It came as a total shock and surprise to her.
Gary, here's the part though, and you know the part that really people are like, come on, you're in a hospital. At the moment you realize there's a baby, there's a human coming out, why does she not ask for help, scream for help, for her mom, for a nurse, for anyone to come there? Because, you know, all the people that are upset because, I mean, this is like you're at an actual hospital. If the baby had any chance to survive, at the moment, if she just asked for help, it was there.
Well, and here's the problem. Total shock. We lawyers that have been particularly handling homicide cases most of our careers, like I have, understand that people are totally shocked by certain events. Certain people react differently to others. And she is just, you have to understand, here's a woman that has a baby and all that goes with it. Having a baby is not like you see on television where it's this perfect scene. This is a major issue. She's bleeding profusely. She has a placenta as well. And all of this is in the bathroom where she has no help and didn't realize that that there was a buzzer or a cord there that you buzzed for the nurses. I mean, this is a total shock to this young woman. And that's the big issue here. And I understand people saying, well, she knew or she didn't know, and she should have called for help. But that's not the situation that you find yourself in. You just, all of a sudden, you have a baby, then the baby is not alive, and that creates problems in and of itself when you've just given birth to a baby and the baby is not alive. And that creates other problems for you. And what do I do now? It's not like there was somebody there helping her.
Gotcha.
I mean, she went to the only place in the community to get help. And with all due respect, they didn't give her any help.
Well, with all due respect, she was withholding information, being dishonest, and not being truthful.
Mhm.
And that is the craziest thing he just said. If a patient in the ER goes to a quote unquote public restroom that ER patients have access to, guess what? There's this huge cord on the wall that says pull in case of emergency. So you're telling me that somebody that's 19 doesn't know the difference between right and wrong and really thinks that, oh, I had a baby. Oh my God, I didn't know I had a baby. What am I going to do? Let me put it in the trash cans where it'll suffocate. No, I don't buy all that.
No, you're right there. You're right there. You know, there's medical staff within feet of you. I mean, a human coming out of your body is self-explanatory. It means you're pregnant.
Yeah, even if she didn't know she was pregnant, which I don't buy, people at 19 know that's a human being. That's a baby. You know, should I get help or should I put it in the trash can? Who would ever think that?
I guarantee he was moving. I guarantee he was trying to take breaths. And I think when she got in there, the first thing she did was grab a plastic bag and was waiting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then she started that cleanup. She already knew what was going on. How about some positivity? Anybody want some positivity?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right, anytime we talk about this case or lots of other cases, people say if you can't handle your child, if you have a baby and you know you're ill equipped or just flat out don't want to be a parent, then there's safe haven laws. The hospital is one. The hospital is definitely one. The fire department is another. This little beautiful baby girl on the screen was left in a baby box. The firefighter that came across her, him and his wife had been trying to have children for 10 years. And they are giving her a beautiful home. Look at this.
That is the face of the morning. What a sweetheart. We are back. It's 8:13. Can't wait to tell you this story, a Today exclusive. It's about a Florida couple who for years dreamed of starting a family and ended up adopting a baby, but it happened in the most unexpected way.
We are going to talk to them in just a moment. But first, the incredible story of how this little bundle of joy came into their lives.
There you go.
Meet baby Zoe, Vincent and Katie's precious bundle of joy. A sweet little girl they call their own miracle.
It's a gift from God is all it is. There's nothing else to explain it.
Nearly 6 months ago, Vincent showed up for work on a day that would change his life forever. He's a firefighter in Ocala, Florida, and was pulling his regular 24-hour shift. At 2 a.m., an alarm went off. He recognized the sound immediately. A newborn had been placed at his station's Safe Haven baby box, a device that allows a mother in crisis to safely and anonymously surrender a child. Vincent said the moment he opened that box, his whole world changed.
I opened the box and there she is. I picked her up. She wasn't crying. As soon as we locked eyes, that was it. I was in love with her.
Vincent's training kicked in. Per Ocala Fire and Rescue standards, he helped deliver the baby to the local hospital. He handed her over to the medical staff along with a special note.
I wrote on the note, hello, my name's Vincent. I've been working for the fire department for the past 8 years. Me and my wife have been trying to have a family for almost a decade now. And if given the opportunity, we would like to adopt this baby.
Vincent and his wife Katie first met in the Navy and got married in 2016. For years, they struggled with infertility.
We just wanted to be parents and be able to care for a child. So when he said it was a baby dropped off in the baby box, I mean, my head started spinning.
The couple was already registered to adopt in the state of Florida. 2 days later, they were able to take the baby home from the hospital.
I picked her up and I looked at her. She looked at me and she smiled. And that's when I knew that I was in love and that this was my daughter.
From this point on, you are her legal parents.
Then in April, the adoption was finalized.
Our family was complete.
For us to not have to worry and for her to be our daughter legally was amazing.
Zoe's parents say their daughter is perfect and already full of personality.
She is the happiest baby.
She's really nosy, though. She does like to see what's going on all times.
The couple has not been in contact with Zoe's birth mom, but wants her to know that Zoe is loved beyond words.
The birth moms are heroes, too.
We needed each other in her moment of crisis, and the way that we were able to help each other was through that baby box.
A beautiful blessing, well worth the wait.
Never in my wildest dreams would I've ever thought that I would be a dad to a baby, let alone a baby girl.
We never want to take her for granted. We want to be the best parents we could be for her.
And Vincent and Katie are here with beautiful little Zoe. You guys, families are formed in the most unexpected ways. You never know when one day is going to change your whole lives.
Yes.
Will you describe just the moment when you knew that your family was going to be a family of three?
I think it was probably the day we finalized our adoption, because, of course, before we finalize, anything can happen, and we've experienced that in the past. So when that judge said, you guys are a family, we kind of afterwards, we looked at each other and we're like, we're a family. Holy guacamole, we're a family. So that was easily the best day of our lives, and that's when we really knew like we were a family.
It's so amazing. I mean, first of all, this is just an extraordinary little baby. You can just see everything. She's a truly special little babe. Yes, you, Zoe. We're talking about you, Vince. When you locked eyes with her,
Yes.
I mean, we see it in the picture there. You
Yes.
holding her.
Yes.
You two are locking eyes.
Yes.
I mean, it feels like divine destiny.
It definitely was. I mean, God definitely put her in our lives, and gave us the opportunity to adopt her. And I mean, even now, when she's up at night and I feed her, I kind of keep her up a little longer than I should, just so I can rock her and just look at each other and we stare at each other all the time. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite things to do is just watch her and look at her while she looks at me back.
Just to talk about how badly you guys wanted a child. You tried for years. You signed up with adoption agencies. You had your home checked out. You were on foster care lists. You were doing all the things. Was there any time there where you thought, like, I wonder if this isn't meant to be? No one's coming knocking.
Yes, oftentimes we would feel that way, and we kind of would get really discouraged, and then
we'd sit down and have a conversation like, we know we want a family, but is this the way that we're going to be able to have our family? And then we're like, well, let's just try a little bit more. Let's just try a little bit longer.
Can we hold Zoe?
Of course you can.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said yes, because we were just going to grab her anyway. Hello, boo-boo. Hello, good girl.
You can see everybody.
One of the things I think is so touching also about your story, and one of the reasons you're coming here is to say thank you to the birth mom and to let her know this sweet baby girl is so loved.
Yes. I mean, and that was our only reason for doing any of this, was to let her know that her daughter's taken care of and that, we love her and that she will be cared for the rest of her life.
The birth mothers are real heroes, and they do the most generous thing in the world. And that's by giving you what is now a beautiful, beautiful family. We've got our
This is a good
pal
baby.
Our pal wants to come in and play.
Oh my goodness.
Baby basket for you, little Zoe, you guys.
So much.
There you go. Hi, Zoe.
Something for your room, sweet girl.
A little something.
Well,
Look at that one.
Oh.
Vince and Katie, I mean, this was meant to be. I'm so glad for you. And just holding this baby, I can see why you never wanted to let her go. I will give her back.
Eventually.
But she is just a bundle of love.
Beautiful.
So glad you found each other.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Oh, she's such a curious one.
Right?
Look at this.
She's
so
amazing. You might have lost her.
I love you, Zoe.
We say it all the time. She's perfect.
And you guys are dressed perfectly.
We are.
Yes,
Well,
you match.
if she wants two crazy aunties at the Today Show, there we are. We're waiting. We're available.
Perfect.
We are. All right.
Thank you so much.
What a great story. And Alexi could have done this in a heartbeat. I read another article about the birth mother of little Zoe in Florida. She was 15 when she had her. She was 15. She got home. She knew she couldn't take care of her. Her mother is not a good person. And she said, I don't want my daughter to grow up like me. I want to go to college. I'll meet up with her someday. And she took her to the baby box after she saw it on the news.
That's a beautiful story.
Mm-hmm.
Just beautiful. But she couldn't do this.
But no, Alexi's right there in the hospital, and she makes the decision after knowing, telling her friends, denying to the cheerleading coach. That's the decision she made. Yeah. Jules said she had common sense. Yeah. So we can't judge anything by age. From what I read, the girl was 15 years old.
And she knew what to do. And she made the right decision. And I really respect that.
I respect it too. Let's give a big hand of applause to Angel P, who made this an absolutely wonderful show along with all of you. Thank you so much, my dear friend. I
You're
love
welcome.
when you come in with your expertise and your
Mm,
advice and walk us through these things, because this was your career.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know about being an expert, but yeah, I do know about nursing and certain procedures, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me up. Thank you for everybody that's been here today, and thanks to the Mod Squad. We love you guys.
Thanks to
I'll
the
be down in the
Mod
chat.
always, and
Uh-huh.
basically everybody around here is an expert except for me.
I'll talk to you later, girl.
All right. Thank you so much, Angel P. I love when she comes up. I asked her a couple days ago. I said, I want to go through the hospital protocol. And she said, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you're recovering from the 4th yesterday. I know it's a super busy day. Leo said, love this chat. I love this chat too. So I'll see you over in Discord or one of the Facebook groups. We also had Extra AF up today. We had Yolanda up today. Did a great job. Tomorrow is another big show. It's a crazy one. It's a new case I'm looking at, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. So make sure you hit your reminder. Remind all, because tomorrow this one's going to knock your socks off. Thank you to everyone for being here and for being the best chat and best community on YouTube.